Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and I'm joined by my friend Vinny here. Vinny and I have known each other for 10 years now.
Yep.
When we met at Alternative Films Club at Rider University, which if you're a Rider student, you should totally join Rider Alternative Films Club.
Hi, Dr. Lucia.
That'd be hilarious if she watched this and commented on the video. But it's the coolest club on campus. Extremely biased, but who cares? So Vinny has his own movie review blog, so you should go check it out. What's the info, Vinny?
It's cinemaconversations.blogspot.com. When you go on the homepage, on top it says "Let's Talk Movies." That was when I first started the blog, but then something happened, something technical, and I had to create a new blog, so I just made it as cinemaconversations.blogspot.com. when my first one was "Let's Talk Movies.blogspot.com. So just don't get thrown off when you see that says something different. It's the website is cinemaconversations.blogspot.com.
Vinny's a great writer, and I enjoy reading his reviews. I saw your Wolfwalkers one just popped up on SiftPop today. So Vinny also writes for SiftPop. So you should go check out, just check out SiftPop in general, because, we're both extremely biased because it's not like we both write for them. So shameless plugs all the time here on the Wasteland Reviewer YouTube channel. But this is Lost in the Wasteland. So Vinny is getting interviewed by me tonight. So I'm going to get things started with pretty general question that I think most film fans would be asked. What is your favorite film?
All right. Well, I think, although I have tons and tons of favorites, I think I want to say my all-time favorite movie is The Graduate, because I really think it's a movie where, no matter how old you are when you see it, you can relate to the main character on some level, because he's going through a period of transition. He doesn't know where his life is taking him. We've all had moments like that in our lives when we're what am I doing with myself? Where am I going? What am I going to be doing today, tomorrow, a week from now? And I think one reason why it's really stuck with me was because the first time I saw it was in my English class in 12th grade. I forget why it was. I forget how it fit into the curriculum, but that's not important. It was, I was very glad to have seen it, and then when I was a senior in college, I'm not even joking. My very last class of the last week of classes my senior year was my studies in film genre class, and that semester that class focused on comedy, and the last movie I watched in my last college class ever was The Graduate. So
how fitting.
Yep. So it really was a bittersweet experience, but it really was a great, it still was a great experience, even though it was very bittersweet. So that day, it really helped solidify as The Graduate as a movie that's really stuck with me and has really been my all-time favorite movie since then.
And I have a couple interesting thoughts. So first one is, we've all been in those transitional periods and we don't know where we're going to wind up, but I don't know if all of us are going to wind up in the bed of an older woman. But what's really interesting is I've been doing some Black Friday shopping, and I got a bunch of movies in the mail today. And also, this had to be 4 months ago. I pre-ordered the Irishman Criterion Collection.
My brother ordered that last night. I'm not even kidding.
Just arrived today, and of course, you have to buy enough to not have to pay for shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So I got The Graduate today on Criterion. And
Brilliant,
also
brilliant.
Criterion Collection shirt.
That is awesome.
So I just got that in the mail today. So that's actually really interesting that you said that.
The only Criterion movie I actually have is Diabolique.
Okay.
That's the only one that's the only one I have, because I remember seeing a clip from it on. Remember how, like, I think in 2004 Bravo did like a 100 scariest movie moments. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like, I remember seeing the clip from that movie, and I was just like, wow, I gotta see this. I mean, of course, they reveal the twist and like when they talked about that scene, but I didn't care. I was like, well, like, I want to know what leads up to this, and so I bought it. I loved it. I actually haven't bought a DVD. The last DVD I bought was like summer 2016 when Sing Street came out. Like that was the last DVD, because like that movie is near and dear to my heart.
That was money well spent, Vinny. So to get back to The Graduate, though, it's like, I feel like that film really captures a time in society and film, because there's definitely a pivot in terms of like America at that point. And that was definitely the start of like, you have this like perfect kind of like upper class kind of people and middle class people, and you have housewives sleeping around with college students and like that kind of like underbelly thing. And then obviously like the cultural impact of having like Simon and Garfunkel music in it, and
one of the best movie soundtracks ever, probably top 5.
And it's just, and Dustin launched the career of Dustin Hoffman, who doesn't pop up in a whole lot anymore. I feel like
I'm trying to think of the less like current thing that I've seen him in.
I know he was in The Chef, but that was like how many years ago at this point? And then he was in Kung Fu Panda.
Wait, Chef with Jon Favreau?
Yeah, wasn't he the guy who ran the restaurant that he worked for?
I gotta look this up now.
Fact checking. IMDb.
You might be right.
And then
because I hope you are right. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Yes, he is in that, and I'm really happy that I now remembered that he's in it, because I was gonna say that'd be really depressing if the last like new thing I saw him in was Little Fockers.
Well, and then he was a voice in the Kung Fu Panda movies, so like.
Oh yeah, I've only seen the first one, but I really enjoyed it.
I love those movies so much. Jack Black was perfect as a big panda.
He was.
Now, Vinny, what's the earliest memory you have of going to the movies?
The earliest memory I have is my parents took my brother and I to see The Lion King, and that came out in summer of '94. So my brother and I would have still he and I would have still been 3 by then. So that was the first movie our parents tried to take us to, and I think what happened was that like when The Circle of Life came on, like the music was too loud. So my brother and I kind of like started like crying, and we were like, can we leave? It's too loud.
Like people in a Christopher Nolan movie in IMAX.
Yeah. I got through like maybe the first half hour of Dunkirk in IMAX, and I was like, I'm leaving because I can't stand this. I'll see it next week in a regular theater.
Yeah. But like, it's interesting. A lot of the people I've been interviewing, a lot of their first films they recall seeing in a theater were like Disney or Pixar movies.
Actually, the 25th anniversary of Toy Story's release was yesterday.
I saw it at the drive-in. I think that was 2 weeks ago at this point.
Oh, really?
Because I saw it before The War with Grandpa. There's a very different level of quality between the two films during the double feature. Because like De Niro Walken, what are you doing?
Christopher Walken is in that?
He's Robert De Niro's best friend, who's also friends with Cheech Marin. And then he has De Niro has the hots for Jane Seymour, and it's just like, what are you all doing here? And like, De Niro really cares and tries, and he's legitimately endearing. But God, that little shit of a kid, that is his grandson. But like, it's interesting because like obviously we're close in age, and a lot of the people that I've interviewed on here are at least within a couple of years of me, and so many of like bringing up seeing Toy Story, or like I remember like Space Jam was one of the first ones I saw in the theater in 1995.
VHS for me.
Okay. VHSs. Can have a
Yeah.
whole entire video about physical media because anyone who watches my reviews know that I have a shit ton of it. It's like right there.
I remember Dr. Lucia having a ton of VHSs like in her office.
Yeah, those cubby holes of
yes,
faculty offices in the fine arts building.
Yep.
Now, Vinny, what's your favorite genre of film?
Probably. I'm trying to think. Probably psychological thriller.
Okay.
I mean, I know this could be like a bit of a cliche to say, because like it's like a total film student cliche, but I mean, like, one thing that really got me into psychological thrillers was Alfred Hitchcock's movies. Like, because like you have Psycho, Vertigo, North by Northwest, Rear Window. Like you have all those classics, and those really got me into the genre. And like I just love like psychological thrillers. Like you have you can I know some psychological thrillers can be like really like trashy and disposable, but like when you get like a good psychological thriller, you have the intelligence of the plot, the cleverness, a good twist, intriguing characters. In some cases, you have the thrills.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, you might have like a little tinge of horror to it, kind of like in Parasite. So yeah, I mean that's really like the reason why I like psychological thrillers. Might be my favorite genre.
And there's no going wrong with Hitchcock,
No,
and it's very interesting because gonna shamelessly plug Magic of Film Instagram page because Vinny knows we were paying a lot of attention to the top 100 films of all time countdown that they were doing, and today they got up to number 7 in the top 100 directors, and Hitchcock was number 7. So, and with the Filmstagram Movie Club, they spent a whole entire month of October watching Hitchcock films, and that was really cool. And like I watched Dial M for Murder for the first time because
that's a good one.
Like Vertigo is my favorite Hitchcock film, and I remember seeing that. God, what anniversary was that? This was a couple of years ago, but I saw Vertigo in theaters, and because when that come out, it had to be.
That came out, I think. I think that came out before. Like it came out like a few years before. I know Psycho was 1960. I think. I want to say Vertigo. Vertigo came out between Rear Window and Psycho.
It was 58. So,
okay.
God, it was like 60-year anniversary. But like it's crazy, and it still has that staying power. Watching that in the theater was so cool. And Hitchcock, it's going without saying that like he was a master of direction and tension and suspense, and there's a reason why people have been influenced by him for so long.
like I got to see Vertigo at Jacob Burns summer 2018 because I forgot what it was they were doing. They were doing like some kind of like special like summertime series with like classics and stuff. Like they showed Vertigo, Singing in the Rain, French Connection, Blade Runner, Close Encounters. So yeah, still wait. Can't wait for Jacob Burns to reopen.
Uh, I like Princeton Garden Theater's been sending emails like we need donations, and I'm like, it's gonna be so sad if when this is all over, a bunch of those like indie theaters are gone. You never know because it looks like
Well,
the big ones might be too.
hopefully you still have that indie theater. Was it the Montgomery Theater?
I have no idea what's going on with them. They haven't opened up. They they have a really shitty website too, so it's like there's no real information on there if they're gonna come back or not. I'd be so sad because I saw so many great indie films there because they actually
I,
had 6 screens.
yeah, I mean, like Jacob Burns, I'm not too worried about because like because like they have a lot of donors, so like I think they'll be fine. But like I'm worried about. Well, actually, an indie theater in White Plains, about a half hour from me, like a 4-screen indie theater. Apparently, it closed for good. So
Well, AMC Hamilton closed.
for good?
Yeah,
What? Oh my! Oh, that's
the
too bad.
giant mausoleum on the side of 295 now, all 20
That
meters of it.
like I went to my first midnight movie there. I went junior year. I went there for the midnight release of Paranormal Activity 3.
It's sad, and we'll have to see when all of this blows over what's actually still left
Yeah.
because nobody's safe. But now, having talked a lot about genre, who's your favorite filmmaker?
Oh God. Um. Give me some time. um. I mean, as you know, even though The Graduate's my favorite movie, I don't know. I can't really. I mean, right now I can't say Mike Nichols because I think The Graduate might be the only one of his movies that I think that might be the only movie of his that I've seen. So I can't really say I can't really label him as my favorite director right now. I feel like no matter who I say, it's gonna be a cliche. But I mean, I don't care. It's just I'm trying to go through some of them in my head. Um, am I taking too long?
Could always come back to it. That's okay.
All right. We'll come back to it.
So now, like, who is your favorite actor or actress? So instead of thinking behind the camera, in front of the camera.
Probably my favorite actor. Oh gosh. Prob Probably Joe Pesci.
Okay. How happy were you that he came back for The Irishman then?
I was thrilled. I'm upset he's now back in retirement. I mean, like, no, because like he really is someone who can be like he can be like so intense in some movies, but then so funny but then so funny in other movies like my cousin Vinny, Home Alone. Like he can work at the two extremes really 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 well. And I mean, he really does have like a really classic like tough guy persona to him I just find really appealing.
And it's just like watching a film like Goodfellas would not be the same
No, no, no,
without Joe Pesci in it.
no.
And like even like Casino. And like I was so happy that Scorsese got him to come out of retirement for the
Yeah.
Irishman. That was amazing. And
Well,
I probably quote My Cousin Vinny on a daily basis.
My Cousin Vinny is one of my all time favorite comedies, and it's not because my name is in the title, but yeah, like with Joe Pesci and the Irishman, like one thing I loved about it was how like he played like a similar character as he did in Goodfellas, but he played. But whereas with Goodfellas, he was like a real wild card. In this, he was still like intense and intimidating, but in like a really understated way that it just like drew you to him, and it was just he was just amazing in that. And I'm still bitter about how he didn't receive the best supporting actor Oscar for that.
The Irishman didn't get anything.
No,
did it? Nothing.
10 nominations. It went home empty-handed. It was. I think it was the only Best Picture nominee this year to go home empty-handed.
I can't believe it didn't win a thing. Like everything.
I mean, like part of me kind of thought it might win visual effects just because of how well it used that de-aging technology.
I'm not surprised it didn't win, especially with how much people were making fun of that one particular scene of Robert De Niro beating up somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like, you can make him look younger, but you can't make like a 70-something-year-old man look like a 20-year-old beating up somebody. It was bad. But, like, it's tough because it's hard for, like, I remember Ex Machina winning Best Visual Effects, and that beat Force Awakens. It beat Mad Max Fury Road.
It beat the Revenant.
I'm like, what's going on here? I remember.
I still believe Alicia Vikander should have. I think she should have campaigned for that instead of the Danish Girl. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. She was good in the Danish Girl, but I mean, she was so good in Ex Machina. Like she was that movie.
Her and Oscar Isaac dancing, like that was the movie.
She didn't dance with Oscar Isaac, did she?
Well, no, I was making the point like you had Alicia Vikander's performance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Oscar Isaac's dancing, and that's all you needed.
Yeah,
it was just that great of a film. Like I'm a huge fan of Alex Garland, so I love Ex Machina. But yeah, Joe Pesci is a great actor, and wish he was in more things.
Yeah. Oh, before we go to favorite actress, I think I do have my favorite filmmaker.
Okay.
Again, it's gonna sound like a cliche, but Martin Scorsese.
Italian people.
I'm only half Italian.
Like if you're any part Italian, you basically are gonna look like you're Italian. So whatever. I'm not even half Italian, so.
What Canto? Like what? I mean,
that's like, Italian.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But how? But it's like, what's your percentage?
Maybe like 35, 40.
Oh, okay.
Because like my grandfather on my mom's side is 100%. Was like his parents were from Roman, like Sicily, so like legit Italian, Delali. And then my grandmom was English, Irish, and Scottish.
Okay.
And then my grandfather on my dad's side, the Cantos, are like my grandfather was mostly Italian, but like
Okay.
still had like English and Irish in there, and then like my grandmom was mostly German, English, Irish. But like
Because I figured Kanto was Italian, but then when you said you weren't even half Italian, like that got me curious as to like what the percentage was.
I'm like 50% South Jersey redneck because that's like my whole dad side of the family.
Oh my god.
But like there's a lot of Italian people in South Jersey because they all came from Philly. That's where most of my family originally came from, was from Philly.
Mhm.
So many Italian people. But we love our gangster movies and we love our Martin Scorsese.
But yeah, like with him, like I mean, like there are like many like obvious reasons why I like his movies. Just like the acting, the story, and all that. But one thing I really like about his movies was like I love like the culture of the time periods that he visits a lot. Like with like Goodfellas, Raging Bull, The Irishman. Like I love I love like the style of that time of that time period. Like I like I like I like the clothing. I like the clothing. I like the entertain. I like the entertainment. Like I like I like the music. I
Mhm.
like just like like when I watch these movies, there are times that I'm like, oh well, I really wish I grew up in that.
Mhm.
I really wish I grew up in that time period because I just love like the whole just like the whole like culture
Yeah.
of it.
I have a question for you. Are you a
Yeah.
fan of the Rolling Stones?
Am I a fan of the Rolling Stones?
It's like, do you like
Uh,
the Rolling
yeah,
Stones? Do you like Give Me Shelter?
I like I like their music.
So it's like, you want a Martin Scorsese movie? Let's put in some Rolling Stones. Like,
But then but I mean with movies like Goodfellas and Raging
yeah.
Bull, like I love I love like 50s music.
Mhm.
I like 60s music. So like I love I love like the old fashioned feel of his movies.
Yeah. And I think what I appreciate about him most is like, I think a lot of people just write him off like he makes gangster movies. But like
He
Last
does he
Temptation of Christ,
Sh-
Silence,
Shutter
I
Island,
I
Hugo.
adore Hugo. Like I
But
watch that movie and just feel like this sense of wonder and love for cinema and just
but
sitting there.
I saw Hugo in 3D and I was like, this is amazing. I want to like I have the book on my reading list.
Nice. I think I do too. I haven't read it before, but like, yeah, and you brought up Shutter Island, and like he's been doing it for so long, and there's a reason that Bong Joon-ho wins Best Director, yet everybody's cheering and clapping for Martin Scorsese. And it's just like he has that impact, and I'm on it. Like if it wasn't for Parasite, I really do think that Scorsese would have won Best Director.
You
With
think so?
I think so, and just Parasite came out of nowhere, and just like that's an amazing film,
It is.
and I can watch
Like
Bong Joon-ho memes all the time now.
like I saw Parasite opening weekend at Jacob Burns in like a packed like sold out theater, and just like the reactions to some of the stuff that happened in that movie made it made it worth it.
I saw it at AMC Voorhees, which used to be a Carmike. So it's like AMC Classic, where
Where's
they show more. And
where where's Voorhees?
it's in Camden County.
Okay.
So like it's from where I'm from, Camden County. Woo. But like it used to be a Carmike, so it's like AMC Classic, so they show more independent films. And I
Uh,
remember the same weekend, Jojo Rabbit and Parasite came out at that theater, and I did like a double feature, and both packed, tons of people at both. And it's great seeing a packed house for like a smaller film,
Yes,
indie film like
yes.
that. And like I got stuck in the front row of the lighthouse because that many people went to the lighthouse, and I'm like, what?
Well, I remember the first time I ever went to Jacob Burns. It was me, my brother, and my cousin. It was Thanksgiving weekend, 2014. He and I went down there just because like we kept waiting for Foxcatcher to come to
Okay.
Rockland, but it was taking forever. So we were like, so my brother was like, oh, let's maybe try Jacob Burns. It's only like 40 minutes away. We'll take the drive. So we took the drive, and like like this was back when Jacob Burns had 3 screens as opposed to the 5 that it has now. But that weekend, tell me this isn't a killer lineup. They had Foxcatcher, Birdman, and Whiplash, and I just remember it was pretty crowded in the lobby when we went to see Foxcatcher, but it was like maybe like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But then by the time we got out and it was like 7:30, like you almost couldn't move in the lobby because like there were, like it was like Birdman sold out, Whiplash sold out, like everything was sold out. And I remember like the year after, on it was in November. Um, my family and I we were gonna go to Jacob Burns to see Brooklyn,
Mhm.
and we made the mistake of not buying tickets ahead of time because it was like that, like it was like that weekend at Jacob Burns, it was opening weekend there for both Brooklyn and Spotlight. And then when we got in there to buy the tickets, pretty much like every show before like 9:30 or 10 o'clock for both Brooklyn and Spotlight were sold out. So we had to go back the following week. We went back the following week and then saw Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is, I love that film
Yes.
so much. I have other feelings about Spotlight, but I'm going to hold them to myself right now because getting questions.
Okay.
I have very strong feelings about that film.
Text me about it.
It's funny because I was ranting about it before I got on this interview with you. Don't even remember how it came up.
Favorite actress, Tilda Swinton.
She's incredible.
Yep.
Like, it was funny because like I took off for my birthday and just watched movies all day, and even just watching Avengers Endgame, and like she brings a whole entire other presence with
She
like
does.
the Ancient One, and it's just like she's such a great actress.
Yeah. And she's in, like I said, I'm watching the personal history of David Copperfield, and she's in that.
She's great. Her and Hugh Laurie are so great in that movie.
I mean, I'm only 40 minutes into it, so like I haven't seen like too much of their characters yet. Like I'm at the point where like they're really just like now they're starting to like figure more into the plot.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But first I gotta watch Sound of Metal before that expires again. But yeah. So yeah. But then she was like unrecognizable in Trainwreck. She had
Yeah.
but like there were like there were times I mean like going into the movie I knew Tilda Swinton was in it. Like I knew that was her, but still still she looked unrecognizable. There were a couple times when I was like she kind of looks like Jodie Foster, with the kind of makeup she's wearing.
It was interesting because I recently rewatched Trainwreck, and I was getting like, she kind of has that same kind of like energy and vibe as like Emily Blunt in like Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, that's a perfect comparison.
And I'm just like, and this is Tilda Swinton, who's usually really weird in a lot of films, and it was very interesting seeing her in like that because like she could do it all, and like watching Suspiria.
She was on another level in that movie. I was hoping she would receive like a surprise supporting actress nomination for that.
Because the only film she's been nominated for was Michael Clayton. Or did she get nominated for that? I'm trying to remember.
Well, she was nominated. She was nominated and won for Michael Clayton.
Yeah.
Um, I remember she was a pretty big contender for we need to talk about Kevin, but then she ended up not receiving a nomination for that. Like I think that was when Rooney Mara kind of snuck in there
Yeah.
for the girl with the dragon tattoo. And like she was really good in the girl in the girl with the dragon tattoo. I'm just saying that like it seems like if that if she wasn't nominated, that's probably the spot that would have gone to Tilda Swinton.
Can't have too many really uncomfortable movies there. Can't have too many.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like Tilda Swinton, she has so much talent where like it feels like she's been nominated more than once, but I don't think she has.
I think she's just one of those kind of actors that's just appreciated. And it's just like, if she's in a film, she's bringing it all.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a lot out of that. And she's one of those kinds of character actors that I don't think, like, obviously we're film buffs here. So like, we know Tilda Swinton, but there's like mainstream audiences, like they probably like, oh, it's that person from like this and that. But like, she's such a great actress and she's a chameleon. She can just meld into anything.
Hey, Chronicles of Narnia.
She was great. And that was the first I've ever seen her in, and
that was the first thing I ever saw her in too.
Mm-hmm. Now, Vinny, do you have a film that you feel like you could literally watch every day?
That's hard to say because I really only watch. I probably like the most I'll ever watch a movie is maybe twice. Even if I love even if I love this like a movie, like I mean like if I see a movie that I love on TV, I'll keep it on that station and like I'll try to watch like as much of it as I can. But like I don't really like choose to like sit down and like rewatch something. However, if there is a movie I could watch over and over again, it's probably The Graduate.
Okay.
Since
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoy this question a lot. What film do you feel an extra connection to because it's related to another interest of yours?
I'm trying to think. Well, I've always loved to read. I'm trying to think if there have been any movies that really have like tapped into that interest of mine. Hold on. I like this question. I'm just trying to figure it out. I know there's a I know I've seen like a movie or two that deals with books. I just can't.
The Reader.
I've actually never seen that whole movie.
It's funny actually because I actually have the book of it and it's like sitting beyond me over there. But I like the film a lot. I was just making a joke because,
it's fine. I'm trying to think. I mean, I can't really think of any like narrative movies at the moment that deal with that interest. But I will say, back in the spring, I watched the documentary, The Booksellers, and that
the same movie.
Yeah.
And like,
and I really enjoyed it.
that's one of my favorite documentaries of the year, and that hit really close to home because I've always been an avid reader.
Mm-hmm.
And watching that documentary and them talking about like the Strand and all the different like booksellers in New York City, and just because like I'm from South Jersey, and you say the city around here, it's Philly to
Mm-hmm.
South Jersey people, but like going into New York City and walking into a bookstore in New York City is such a cool thing. And the Strand has like these really like the whole section in the Strand where they have like their old books and stuff like that. And I was looking in a case and like buy $100 edition of like No Country for Old Men. I'm just like looking at like all these older like
I actually read No Country for Old Men like for the first time about actually a couple weeks ago. I really liked it.
I I feel like I read that last summer, I think, for the first time, and I'm like, because I No Country is one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, and reading that, Cormac McCarthy has such an interesting voice,
Mm-hmm.
and like reading that in The Road, it's like so beautifully written and so disturbing all at the same time.
Like I have The Road, and I really liked it. I don't know if I can't bring myself to read it again because it's just such an upsetting book.
Sure is. But like, and it's funny because like I've been watching a lot more documentaries lately, and The Booksellers was definitely one that really stuck out to me because of my love for reading too. Now, what movie character do you feel like you really connect with on a personal level?
Uh, on a personal level.
I'm just waiting for one of these days that I ask that question and somebody says like like Arthur Fleck or Travis Bickle or something like that, and
Oh
be
my
like, ah, interesting. Why do you say that? We had a lot of jokes about that when we looking at that top 100 list of all time on a Magic of Film page, because it's like, where's Fight Club going to wind up?
Oh my god.
Tyler Durden. But sorry, go ahead, Vinny.
No, it's fine. Oh jeez. A character I relate to on a personal level. Shoot. Um. I almost had something. Can we come back to that?
Sure.
Thanks.
Vinny didn't realize he was coming onto hardball tonight. Now, what film do you feel like people would be surprised to find out that you love?
The Devil Wears Prada.
I love that movie too. Just watching Streep and
Emily Blunt.
It's just like, and then she got nominated for an Oscar for that. Meryl Streep, right?
Yep.
And
Yes, she did.
Of all movies, but you know, it's Meryl Streep.
Yep.
She's absolutely fabulous in it.
Like I mean, like I don't know why. I just have like whenever it's on TV, like I always turn on. I always turn it on. Like I just get like so much fun out of watching it. I mean, yeah, it is like, you know, Meryl Streep, and like of course, like, you know, Emily Blunt is hilarious
Mhm.
in it. And I guess like I guess because I majored in journalism. Like, well, actually, I guess this can kind of tie into your last question. Like you know, I always you know, like I liked watching Andrea's. I liked watching like Andrea's journey, like down her career path. Like she was, she was a journalism major, and she's trying to like make her career happen. But in order to do that, she has to like, she takes this job that everyone says a million girls would kill for. And I just found it like kind of like relatable. Not like super relatable, obviously, but I liked like the little connection there.
Well, and I think it's understandable that it's just like you're chasing your dream. You might wind up in a place that doesn't necessarily relate to it. And you can find yourself like being successful at it. And it's interesting because like I've never had a boss who is like an absolute monster. But like that idea of I it's like why like Office Space is so relatable. It's like we all know like working at a job at some point something stupid like that has happened to us.
Uh-huh.
Like something. And it's just like you're trying to get away. It's a Friday and your boss is like,
Yeah.
well, Peter, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's just like those kinds of moments. And I feel like the Devil Wears Prada just captures that you're young, you're trying to make it, and you might wind up in a place where you might be driven to be successful because that's like your drive, but it's not your passion. And it's interesting because she does wind up with a job that like so many people who are in love with passion with in love with fashion would want to be involved in. And it's an interesting film. It's one of those surprising kind of films. It was something I never expected I was going to like. I'm like, Devil Wears Prada. And I watch him like, I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
But now my last question for you, Vinny.
Okay.
What do you love most about movies?
This is all thanks to Dr. Lucia and all the classes that I took of hers. I love now, as from because of all of her classes, I now get like an even bigger joy out of watching movies because I've become so accustomed to analyzing them. Just like having a deep just like looking deeper into what I'm watching and trying to like figure out why a director framed something this way, why did the screenwriter structure the character this way, like what are some what are some other meanings behind something that aren't apparent on the surface. It kind of just like being able to like look deeper into something and to catch on to different things while you're watching the movie. It kind of like it adds a bit of a thrill to it, and it's just like it's just something that I've enjoyed. It's just something that I've enjoyed doing ever since I started learning how to do it 10 years ago when I took Dr. Lucia's what was like it wasn't Intro to Film Studies. It was like the next one up. What was that? What was the class? Did you take it? I'm trying to think. It was like, language of film analysis.
Okay.
Like that. That was the first class that I ever took with her, and that was really like the class that. Oh, actually, hold on one second. This is the textbook from that class.
Ah.
Film art, and then you could see, you can't really see, but uh, it's a scene from Collateral,
Nice.
which I haven't watched, probably not since high school. But I remember loving that movie.
I love
Um,
Collateral. The
yeah.
year of Jamie Foxx.
So what was that?
I said the year of Jamie Foxx,
Double nominee.
which, to be fair, calling him a supporting actor in Collateral is a BS. But
It is, but it's just like, well, it's just because, like, he was like, that was like, he wasn't really in much until that year, so he was still like kind of on his way up. And so, like, I guess I figured when they paired him with Tom Cruise, the studio figured, okay, well, we're gonna build, it's Tom Cruise, so we're gonna bill him as the lead actor, and then
yeah,
Jamie Foxx as supporting. Like, category fraud has been a thing for years now, because look, like 2015 alone, you had, Alicia Vikander. She was, I think, like, her nominations leading up to the Oscars were all for Best Actress, but then she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for the Danish Girl for the Oscars, and then you had Carol, both, Carol that same year, Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, both like equally lead characters, but they campaigned Kate Blanchett for lead and Rooney Mara for supporting.
and going back to Sir Anthony Hopkins winning Best Actor
for
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 film,
for like 15 minutes of screen time,
which
which, I'm not complaining, because he was outstanding in Silence of the Lambs, but still, I mean, it's interesting to see how, like, certain things play out with, like, these nominations.
yeah, and like he should have won Best Supporting Actor because like there's no way you can even argue that Hannibal Lecter's a lead character in that movie. But the thing is, you can when you put in campaigns for the Oscars.
Yep.
But that's always the fun because it's like I feel like there's people out there that look forward to seeing what they're going to get pissed off about most about the Oscar nominations as much as what they want to see get nominated.
But
But
but then it's also like, well, also another example in 2015 was Room with Jacob Tremblay. Like, he was easily a lead character, but I guess, like, people were like, oh,
he's a kid.
he's a kid. We'll campaign him for supporting, but I mean, he didn't even end up getting nominated. He should have been nominated, but he wasn't. So
But
yeah.
now, Vinny,
Yeah.
you get to ask me one question to wrap up this interview. So, what's one question you want to ask the Wasteland Reviewer?
Uh hmm. Jeez. I'm trying to think of a good movie related question that you didn't. I want to do it. I want to read it. I want to. Oh, okay. You know what? All right. So since we talked a little bit about books, and, like, ever since the gyms and movie theaters closed, like, during the pandemic, I mean, I was always a big reader, but I've been reading even more so over the past few months. So so with that, my question is, what's your favorite movie adaptation? And more specifically, like, movie adaptation from a book.
So, you know what's really interesting is because I actually answered this question on my most recent Ask Your Wasteland Reviewer video that I did for my birthday,
Mm,
but I'll answer it again now. And we already talked about this, and it's No Country for Old Men.
okay.
And like as I mentioned before, Cormac McCarthy has such a unique voice and just how he tells a story. And he seems like the kind of writer that how the hell do you adapt this? But somehow the Coen brothers knew exactly how to adapt it. And they adapt a lot of different things. And I'm actually going to bring up another one of their adaptations too, because like it's interesting because they make great original work, but they also make great film adaptations of pre-existing work. And it's just like like that one's pretty true to the book and capturing the essence of No Country for Old Men. And this might be something that people might not like because like I know so many people that get pissed off if you change one tiny thing about like a book into a movie, but sometimes you need to take an idea and run with it and do something new and unique, which is why everybody everybody who wrote things that Stanley Kubrick adapted hated it. But like look at Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
I've never seen it.
It's based off of the Odyssey.
That I know, but I've never seen. I've just never seen the movie.
But it's like, what? How does this have anything to do with ancient Greece? But there's a oracle, there's sirens, there's a cyclops played by John Goodman, and it's like it's so interesting how you take an idea and a work and do something so unique with it, but capture the spirit of it. Like George Clooney's character's name is Ulysses Everett McGill. So like Ulysses, which is the Roman version of Odysseus, because I took 5 years of Latin. But and another one that I brought up, and like this, your might be different than your definition of what a book is, but like I love, like, obviously I love comic books and superhero movies. And this adaptation got nominated for an Oscar, and it's Logan. And I don't know if if you know what the actual Old Man Logan comics like, but it's legitimately like a post-apocalyptic kind of place where like Hulk's kids are like tyrannical rulers in the West, and Red Skull is like the president of the United States and crazy shit like that. But they captured the spirit of this weary warrior and putting him into a new context of this is still tangible, and it's a man who fought for so many years and now is old and beaten and broken down. And it captures the spirit of like Shane, which in Logan, they actually watched the movie Shane.
Yeah.
And my God, was that like I was sitting in the theater being like, I loved Wolverine for 20 years, and now he's watching the movie I'm named after. And just like such a weird like connection there, but it could even be a small like a relative adaptation of Shane. There's plot elements from the book that they incorporate into that film. And I guess like the Coens are, I think, my favorite adapters of literature because they do their thing, but they know how to capture the spirit of something. And I guess roundabout way, that's why No Country for Old Men's my favorite adaptation.
Okay.
But we talked plenty of movies tonight, and this was a lot of fun. So,
it was.
Vinny, I appreciate you coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All for tuning in to Lost in the Wasteland and always supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.